Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Nat Walsh here with you today. I've got the rose cluster, I've got the tall happy birthday, and I've got a range of Distress inks. We're going to do a slimline card, and I'm going to use the rose cluster to make my background. So I've got 4 of those that's just die cut out of some plain white cardstock. We're going to layer them onto our base here. And I'm going to glue those down with just some liquid glue. I'm going to cut out some of this just for your time. Trimming those off, I'm going to use some of my die cuts that have been trimmed off so they put it into areas that have a little bit of a hole. You could probably be a little bit more harder with using some of the tinier pieces, but we're going to straight go into these 2 larger pieces that we have left over. And again, just a little bit of glue. You don't have to worry about the whole thing because of course we're only using that tiny little bit. I'm going to use my phone just to make sure they stick down well, because they are little small pieces and some of these are just going to be like individual pieces, but that is going to be fine. So I'll leave that to dry for a little bit and put that off to the side. I've got a silicone mat. Any of the non-slip surfaces will do. We've got tattered rose, we've got pumice stone and ground espresso. Tattered rose is very, very soft, but I thought it might be just a little bit of something a little bit different. It's it's tattered rose, so it's very, very pink, even though it looks a little bit orange in the video here. Going in with some pumice stones and then finish up with some ground espresso. I do go over this twice just to try and get a nice, even color, but we're going to distress it all over again. So you do you. But I like to do this twice, and then we're going to sprinkle some water over the background to give it that little, the distress oxides do the same sort of similar thing, but have that reaction with the water. And I thought there was just be a little bit of a difference in, going from the pinks down to the browns. And it's sort of the tattered rose is a little bit of it's not a bright pink. It has those underlining tones, I suppose. A little bit of water. Let that sit for a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to mop that up with a microfiber cloth. Trim off, now that our panel is dried up a little bit, trim off those pieces that we added in. This is going to sit right down the center so we can see our floral design in the background. I'm going to die cut happy birthday. Can't remember whether I did it. There you go, 2 times. So it's not a very dimensional, but it has a little tiny bit of the extra dimension. If you don't have cardstocks, what I suggest is have a panel that you would use for my Aussie friends. The normal, I can't think of what we have. A5. I think it's A5. Mine's gone blank. A5 card bases. And then die cut out of the center of it, because if you're going to use it as a mat, you're not going to see anything that's die cut out of the middle. So it's just, in my mind, it's a little bit of a wasted area sort of thing. But I don't do this all the time. It's, if I don't have any small pieces enough to fit the happy birthday or something like that, that's what I would do, because I can hide it later on. Glue it down with a little bit of wet glue. These are all adhered onto each other, so we've got 2 of the happy and 2 of the birthdays glued down together. Using my phone just to make sure that's held down a little bit. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at putting some bling on it, but I'm going to layer that up first. So I've put all my foam on the back of it. I'm not one for... I do it. I do measure and keep my measurements for my card panels, but quite often I'll just sort of eyeball it. So we've trimmed that slimline down, double check that it's the right size, adhere that all down, making sure it's as straight as I can possibly make it, which doesn't always happen, but we go with the flow and we do what we can do. Now my next thing, once we've glued this down, is going to be my little clear drops. Now these are just out of my stash, and I'm going to glue those down with a little bit of some wet glue and just place them, position them around. So that's going to be pretty much my card for today. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and hit the like buttons this way, and leave us a comment, because the interaction is good for the YouTube algorithms and basically helps our little channel to grow. So if you're that way inclined, we'll be very honored if you subscribed and liked the video and left us a little comment of some love. That's it. That's my card for today. I hope you are well. Take care, and I will talk to you very, very shortly. Bye.